there, it's Polly here. I'm going to share some tales of Screen West. This is the West Australian kind of official movie finance board. They are about as useful as tits on a fish, and that is giving them way more credit than they're due. Essentially, they are a group of people who have access to funding, and they make sure that funding goes to their friends. No exaggeration. But so the reason this kind of comes up now is there is an Indian film festival that's traveling around, and because of my involvement in Bollywood dance and so on and film, a couple of them approached me and asked if they should contact Screen West for funding for doing their traveling film festival, which they absolutely should. That is the role of Screen West, but I advise them not to bother because they will spend the next 6 months jumping through hoops and filling out paperwork, only to be told something like West Australian film doesn't have a tradition of supporting foreign film or something like that. I just pointed them other ways, like here. These particular film theatres have more screens than they're using. Their slack days are this and this and this. They've also got function space because we've checked it out for conventions in the past. So this is what they told us they would charge us for running conventions there. So I think this is I think it's definitely in your budget range. But anyway, Screen West. When I got here to Western Australia 20 years ago now, I decided to be a very good girl and go and contact all of the film community and become a known face. Well, what you can do is you can get these grants for these guys for screen play development. And so I was trying to put in some of my things. I've done a lot of writing for film and so on, but I was trying to get my own stuff out. Okay, so these guys are talking to me, and obviously you're actually a full-on professional, full-time writer. This is kind of a rare thing. So these guys say, okay, well look, we'll deal with you and everything, and you can put in something to get this this screenplay development grant. Says, oh, okay, that's nice. Then one of the guys there says, oh yeah, let's do a coffee. So he takes me out of the building to a nearby place to do coffee, and basically start, I can get you this grant, but what you're going to be told is you have to nominate a script editor. I'll push the paperwork through for you, provided I am your nominated editor for the project. But you're like an employee of Screen West, Yes, but we also act as editors and so on if necessary. Turns out, so I've got no money. Life was bad then; it's bad now. But so you could get a $20,000 grant, which is supposed to allow you to live while you write your screenplay. No, turns out that all has to go as payment to a script editor on the project, who will then edit it. Editing a screenplay, it's that is not full-time work for a smecking year. That's nothing. I know, I've done it. It's nothing. So I go through all these hoops to get a $20,000 grant, which I then just give all the money to you. I get nothing. So I still am starving. I have no income, but I'm expected to sit here, come up with this whole original screenplay, write it, polish it, rewrite it, polish it, rewrite it, polish it, rewrite, polish it. Then you take it for a weekend, scribble some notes on it, and get paid all the money that was supposed to keep me alive for a year. Well, yeah, but then you can get through into the second level of grant, which is, a script redevelopment fund. So, let me guess, another $20,000, which goes to my editor? Yes, but you only get into that round if you've been through that one. And basically, he's saying they're not going to put the paperwork through unless they're in as the editor and unless you agree to give them all the money. After 3 or 4 rounds of this, so they're going to basically screw you for and the government for $80,000. You might finally get to the stage where this is an acceptable project to put before them to actually finance a film. So that's what you're holding out for. 4 or 5 years of nothing, in the hope that eventually this gets to a stage where it's a funded project. And now as the writer, they might put They might put $200,000, in to get the project done. And as a writer, oh, well, you might be up for maybe even 5% of that budget. More likely to be 6%, but maybe, or maybe just 3% because it's a first project and no one cares. Right, so you're saying I'm going to get $6,000 out of this process. Full-time work for a year plus, constant rewrites and jumping through hoops. Yeah, great deal. Yes, I'll buy into that. Yeah, so I walked. There was a young entertainment lawyer who I'd been introduced to somewhere else, and he was working as like the go-to entertainment lawyer that writers would go to, and he was just there visiting, and he saw me, and he's, let's go out somewhere. So this guy, a nice chap, off we go, and yeah, he tells me how this whole thing works. He says, this is what this is, and it says, I just don't know what to do. He says, we've tried bringing it up in front of the arts minister. We've tried actually reporting them to corruption commissions. No one cares. No one cares. You get into this department essentially as a wrought for basically wringing money out of the system. He says, none of them have got any real experience with film at all. Now, as a sidebar to that, I went to I went to Cannes for a film festival, not the Cannes Film Festival. This was a thing called MEP TV, which is the TV and animation kind of co-convention with the Cannes Film Festival. So different crowd. No one's launching like there's no Palme d'Ors and these sorts of things. So most of the big celebrities are not there, but all the TV and animation ones are. Fair enough. But Screen West is supposed to be supporting people to get over there, because this is where you get your deals made. What you do is you kind of pre-arrange to meet different production companies and so on, places who might fund and make your thing. It costs about $6,000 to $8,000 to actually get a ticket to allow you to get into the actual convention. So you can't. People like me, hell no. But we can turn up to town anyway and just kind of hover around in town. And when you find people that, these companies that are going in, or sometimes they're not, they're just there because everyone gathers there. You arrange to meet them and you pitch your program, to them in coffee shops and things. You just sit there and, have a chat, and that's where your deals come from. You're supposed to be able to get travel grants and so on from Screen West, which they'll never give, except to their friends and family. But, okay, so... Yes, I'm Australian, and yes, I am the one that plays the dodgy fast talk and storyteller in role-playing games. There's a reason for that. That's actually how I live. So we turn up early to MIP. There's people lugging stuff in and out of this convention, and there's people struggling with boxes. And all right, look, I'll just help. I just pitched in and help. Oh, would you? Oh, please. Oh, thank you. So I get given this stuff to haul in. So I'm just helping people set up, drag stuff in and schlepping things into their tables in this huge hall, and all these booths are stunning. But then when it's over, I'm inside the building. So yes, I get to get the $8,000 experience as I wander around having a look at everything. Screen West had a booth in there, and it's supposed to be there as an aid to West Australian filmmakers who've turned up to the show. So they've got this huge booth, and it has they had a couple of meeting room facilities set up. So this is where you can get the producers in and have a meeting thing. And they've got, West Australia produces a lot of wine. So they've got this whole kind of West Australian wine selection there. Free wines for everybody. And free wine for when you're wining and dining these producers that you're supposed to be meeting, and all these sorts of resources, plus stuff on how to shoot in West Australia and whatever. But no one's there using that facility because we're all outside. We can't afford the thousands and thousands of dollars to get in, and these guys know it. It was their yearly free trip to France. They get a free trip to the Riviera, and they were just sponging there, drinking free wine, feet up on the tables, and this was just them having a chit-chat with, some people from apparently similar departments around the world. They just sponge around and do nothing. And now they've arranged to take a few weeks holiday as long as the flights were free, and so this is their free thing. So yeah, this is what they were doing. Back to the guy that I met, this young lawyer. So it's like he was having a real rave. Like he'd done everything to try and overturn this. And so if he was in charge, think of what he could do. Like if that money was actually used to help new filmmakers get projects made, to get stuff really done, to encourage new talent. It's like we could actually get a proper film industry in West Australia by, encouraging this, by putting investment into that, by making we wanted to make a film, a filming sort of zone, a place, and I was kind of a part of all this. We're trying to organise with Fox Studios to set up here, and there's going to be this whole studio district, and we need to get backing for this. So he's really into this, and this is what I do if I was in charge. All right, well, dreams are dreams. 10 years later, I just see in the newspaper that this guy's taken over Screen West. They've actually had this clean sweep. The other guys are all out. There's been some kind of underground scandal that you haven't seen. So everyone's gone. Wow. So, I called up this guy and said, hey, do you want to meet for a coffee? And yes. He said, yes, we definitely meet me tomorrow morning. Get me to a coffee place. We'll sit down. Yeah, we definitely have to talk. So, it sounds like it could be an exciting day. So I turned up and there's this guy. Now he's very dignified. All right, not the crazy young guy that I met. I tried to stay in touch with him over that 10-year gap and met him every now and then, but just this is a sudden new persona. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever seen Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister. British comedy at its sarcastic, vicious best. It's just a stunning show. But yeah, suddenly I'm in a Yes Minister episode. I sit down with this guy and say, so, you're actually in charge. This is it. So, interesting times, I guess. Some changes coming. Oh, yes, interesting times, obviously. Be very busy times. Oh, okay. But, busy times because, changes. All that stuff we discussed, I guess that's sort of on the cards. Yes, although on mature reflection, I've seen that sometimes structures are in place because old and tested structures have withstood the ravages of time. They have withstood crises. So perhaps we shouldn't rush to overturn something entirely. Yes. Suspicion flags. But there will be changes, surely. He says, oh, absolutely. When the moment is ripe. And I just decide I'll quote Yes Ministers. Oh, in the fullness of time? Said, absolutely, in the fullness of time. I said, yes, absolutely. After all, Rome wasn't built in a day. Yes, exactly. Rome wasn't built in a day. Says, So I guess I shouldn't bother coming in, bringing any projects. Oh, well, no, don't bother doing that. Well, although you could talk to me about being the script editor on the projects. Yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to doing that now. Yes, it was going to be cleanly, all plain sail and straight ahead as normal. No changes. Yeah, someone had taken a look at how the system could be worked and has said, why would I interfere with this? Oh boy. That organisation finally fell. It was actually booted out of the government. It's now kind of private and desperately struggling for meaning because it has none. I know people get games projects somehow, because games are hot right now, but computer games, and you have to be again, from someone they consider to be hot, just being competent at your job or whatever it is, not going to let it fly. Government funding for creative arts seems like a great idea. In practice, nah. I would love to see a clean sweep come in and actual changes made. Until there is some sort of watchdog making sure that these little emoluments cannot be put in the wrong places. It'll never change. Anyway, I'm still out there trying to get stuff made, going entirely through private channels. The added irony is if I ever get anything actually up and running, financed, and need no help, I know these guys will be hammering on the door in a frenzy to somehow put in money we don't need in order to get their stamp on it so they can say they financed the project. And I'm not going to do it. Anyway, fun with governments